Doing this evening? Let's see here. Trying to get the live stream started on my laptop. So, all right. Looks like we are live. Let's see. Crimson Creek says first. What's up, Marcus? It's Moo Boos. It's morning, y'all. Moo Boo. Are you on the other side of the world? I can't remember. Patriot, what up, B? Huh. Nice. I'm out of adult beverages. Be back in a bit. All right. Well, B says he already gave his like. Speaking of adult beverages, I'm going to, I think I was gonna say I need a koozie, but I think I'm just gonna have to drink them faster than the koozie. Yeah. Captain Newbie, how you doing? Russ Jones, what's going on? How you doing this evening? Guilty. Taking stuff apart, not putting it back together. Some 40-year-olds, guilty. Pat Conti says, hey, what's going on? B says, what's up? All right. Glad everybody is here. Can you guys hear me okay? How's everybody doing this evening? Callaway Barbecue, how you doing this evening? So what's up, Dash? What did Roblox end up doing? I heard an IPO today. Is it ROB? I heard, 69. All right, that's not too bad. I saw or I heard that it started out at 45 and then it jumped up to 65 pretty quickly. But I also didn't watch it. Anyway, that's for the second hour. All right, Marcus says, beverage time. Callaway says, audio is good. Pat, I am good. How are you doing today? Victor says, howdy. Jimmy, what's up with you? Nothing much, Jimmy, nothing much. RBLX, yes, I found it. I thought it opened up. Oh, you know what? It opened at 45, and then it shot straight up to 72, and then it leveled out. Oh. Yeah, but it closed at... Excuse me. All right, second hour. We got to stop looking at that. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, Pat. Skeet, what's going on, man? How you doing? Kenny Ken. Kenny. I did end up picking up that bolt action. So, I know I commented or talked to you about it. I ended up getting a Ruger American. So, only thing is an OD green. Not too keen on that, but it is what it is. I needed it for a specific purpose. But yeah. How you been, man? No, not first one of those. Yeah. They have a short or a shorter barrel and a longer barrel. I have the shorter barrel. I don't know if you have the longer barrel. No way. No way, B. I'm not trying to be demonetized. You can look up the OD Green Ruger American 18-inch. 18-inch barrel. All right. Nice. Is it threaded though, or not? The there's the vodka's right there on top. No, that's wrong. Oh, alright. I was just saying on the top shelf. There's.
I see 2 bottles around here. I have Tito's, right?
Mm-hmm. You do. Skeeter, I don't know. Dave Thomas. I see the picture of Dave Thomas as well. Nice, nice. I might have some quiet ammo. You know, Kenny. I don't know if you you need to trade something. Moose is plucking off pigeons to see see up the KFC box. Yes, man, dude, Jimmy, you are tempting me, man. I feel like we're gonna have to have a Saturday meetup like in a couple weeks or so, because now you're gonna got me intrigued. All right, Jacko, damn it, that's what's up, man. Keep your head down. I appreciate it. Okay, nice. Yeah, I scored some from CCI not too long ago, and then I scored some more from CCI. uh, all right. So we done said hi to everybody, or a couple people. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could. Dave, Dave is funny. So Dave's racing channel says, "Whoa, you're becoming man, you're becoming famous. You have Dave Thomas commenting on your videos now." What up, Lee? Hey Lee, tomorrow's video, and oh wait a minute, yes, there's going to be a video tomorrow. But Lee, tomorrow I use my 15-inch cast iron skillet. So either pop back in later or stick around later, in the end of the second hour, and I will post the link to the video that's going to be coming out tomorrow, or tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, you will get to see I am making brisket pizza, or I made brisket pizza in my 15-inch cast iron skillet. So, yeah. Now I have all of my long ones are all 22. So I have a M&P 1522. I have the long, and then I have the short one, the pistol, and then I also have the Ruger American. I don't have any. I have a 5.56 lower, but other than that, no. No 300 blackout. No 300. No 308. Yeah. Yeah, Victor, the 15-inch skillet is nice. It is a bit unruly even for me. I have to use 2 hands to pick it up and move it around, manipulate it. Like I can pick it up with 1 hand from the handle, but when I need to turn it on the side, I have to use 2 hands to. It 15-inch skillet's big girl. Justin, how you doing this evening? What's up, Dash? I'm chilling. Let's dig into the box, the bag. I'm rocking the cooler tonight, and we have 6 of these to dispose of in the next 2 hours. Justin, how are you doing? How are things? All right, so let's kind of get on to it. We started this video. I want to talk about pushing past your cooking comfort zone. So what does that mean to you guys? There's only 15 of you guys here, but that doesn't matter. Let's have an open discussion about it. What's something that you were, I won't say afraid to cook, just like didn't want to cook, and then when you did cook it, you were like, oh man, that's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal. What's something that you did and that turned out to be, not that big of a deal? Captain Newbie says I should use a bigger cast iron pan. We all can, man. Definitely. I saw one, and actually I was talking to Victor about one. It was like 20 inches wide. It's crazy. Dave, no, it doesn't have to be barbecue only, man. Just food related, obviously cooking, just to kind of stir the pot, as you would say, but just to get the conversation going. The increasing cooking area with each inch. Yeah, definitely. Oh man, I'm not going there with Victor. Justin says brisket. Captain Newbie says I don't cook fish because I don't eat it. I cook pork and I don't eat it. That's not an excuse in my book. Still holding out on lamb. Nah, Jimmy, you know what, man? When I link up with you, I think I'm gonna have to have some lamb in hand. That's what this is telling me. So, my wife and taste hustle number 3 are in the kitchen and they are throwing down over there. I just all I hear is the spoon and stuff hitting the plate. Uh, I've got a good example. First bone-in prime rib smoke. Well, I mean, it's a big old piece of meat, a big old prime rib. I don't know. That's something to me that I kind of did it blindly, but that's one of those things where I did it. You cook it to an internal temperature, and I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't intimidated by it. But I'm trying to think a meat that I cooked recently that I was a little, excuse me, intimidated by.
Duck bacon.
Oh man, my wife reminded me of the duck bacon incident. So I saw somebody talking about duck bacon on Instagram, right? And I was like, duck bacon, like yo. So when I got the Blackstone, the tabletop Blackstone, I cooked beef bacon on it. I cooked turkey bacon on it, and I was like, oh man, I gotta cook duck bacon on it. So I cooked the duck bacon, and man, it was horrible. But then I posted pictures of it and talked about it, and people were like, "No, you have to cook duck bacon like rare," and I didn't. I cooked the duck bacon like you would cook bacon, like make it crispy, and they're like, "No, you can't do that." And actually, I did buy another pack of duck bacon. It's in the freezer. Now that I think. All right. My wife said that's how I know you're scared of it because you haven't cooked it. I'm not scared of it. I actually forgot about it, to be honest. It's not that I'm scared of it, just forgot. Uh, a manic one says it could be lamb. Asabuco, I was scared but came out fire. Dave says, all right. Mr. Fishy Isaac says butcher paper wrap brisket super intimidating. Why? The hardest thing about wrapping anything in butcher paper is wrapping the butcher paper right. If the couple of videos I've done on the like using butcher paper are any sort of you know inclination or whatever, the hardest part is usually figuring out how you're going to the length of your butcher paper that you're going to need, how you're going to wrap up whatever it is you need to wrap up. To me, that's the hardest part. Victor says, actually, I have two 20-inch cast iron skillets plus Mad Child's. What? What is that? Match lid. Oh, plus matching lids. All right, Mr. Fisher Isaac says, hey, yo. Jacko says, for me, it isn't brisket. All right. Moo said the first time cooking Kodak Bear. How was that? Getting on the 36 Blackstone seemed overwhelming. Getting a 36-inch Blackstone seemed overwhelming, but it's real fun. Okay. To make pizza. Okay. Oh man, Dash, I gotta tell you, I'm getting better at it. I smoked a 10-pound brisket and the pork butt. It came out fire. I didn't realize what a science it was until I've gotten into it, but man, I'm glad I did. Yes, indeed. Hello, Laura. Laura says, hey, Dash. Hello, all. Mubu says, hey, Blue. Yeah, the thing where most people get brisket wrong is they don't have the patience to allow brisket to cook the way that it needs to cook. And like people, I've said this before, and some of you guys have heard me say this. But before I say what I'm about to say, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. If you could, please and thank you. Um, no problem, Laura. No problem. A lot of people will base their barbecue worthiness on being able to cook pulled pork, and I do not. I don't subscribe to that. Give me some perfectly cooked chicken. Give me a decently cooked brisket, and mind you, I said a decently cooked brisket, and I will be impressed. Uh, Cooking pork is super super simple. It is super forgiving. It doesn't care if it's cooked hot and fast. It doesn't cook if it's care. Excuse me, if it's cooked low and slow. You just have to cook the heck out of it, and once you cook the heck out of it, pull it apart, and boom, you're done. Or as Laura might say, Bob's your uncle. So the what?
You talking about pork?
Pulled pork, yeah, pork shoulder. My wife says that's not true.
Okay, so pulled pork may be easiest to cook, but
People can still mess it up.
Yeah.
So and
that's the nuance from someone who eats pork like me.
I understand. It's not. I won't say it's not necessarily nuanced. Remember that some of you guys might remember the song from Shania Twain. That don't impress me much. That's all I'm saying. Like you can. No, cooking pulled pork, like somebody who oh my god, I cooked the best pulled pork ever, and it's just pulled pork. It's just there's nothing to me. There's nothing spectacular about pulled pork. Now I know there's different, and my wife is looking at me.
I'm listening.
Pulled pork is just easy. That's all I'm saying. Pulled pork is easy. If I give somebody pulled pork, chicken, and brisket, the thing that they could almost foolproof cook is pulled pork.
So okay, I agree that I think pork is more forgiving.
And yes,
but it could be nasty. It could be dried out. It could be bland. There's still other things that go into making good pork.
You're right. So I don't know if can you guys hear my wife? Because I have my earbuds in. Can you hear her or no? Pulled pork for rookies. That's how you. Okay, Russ says they can hear you. Oh, I could put in the other ear. Or
that's all right. I won't be here long.
You sure?
Yeah, because I'm eating.
What is that?
The stuff from when I made the jambalaya. So there's peppers, chicken, and sausage all in here. It was a little bit left over because I made a pound.
Oh yeah. No, I don't wonder. Mm. I was just saying. Yeah, I was trying to figure out what it was. Moo Boo says hi. Now she walked into the kitchen again.
Sorry, I was eating.
It's okay. They can't see you. They can just hear you. Russ says, sounds good. See, jambalaya can be tricky to someone. So she made, it was really good. It was it turkey sausage? The turkey sausage was a little off. Turkey smoked sausage. Shrimp and chicken. It was good, but the turkey sausage was a little off. I like beef sausage, but it was definitely edible, and it was good. It was good. No, just giving me grief because I said it was edible. No, it was good. And it was a change of pace. It was something we don't do very often. Pulled apples. What is a pulled apple? RQ comps have a mini pot jambalaya, which sounds impossible. Know about that? No. So only competitions I've ever done have been SCA events, the Steak Cook-Off Association, or Steak Cook-Off. Which one is it? Steak Cook-Off Association. I don't know why I can't remember that. I have a sticker on my laptop here that says I'm a SCA member. Ooh. Let's see. Stick a keyword apple and grill it. Okay. Turkey is best left whole, and I don't do no ground turkey. Well, Russell, I do ground turkey. I cook turkey burgers every now and again. And ground turkey. Usually, I'm browning ground turkey. I don't typically use ground turkey to make burgers. I have made turkey meatloaf, and I suck at making meatloafs. So I guess meatloaf is something that's kind of intimidating. But meatloaf to me is a double-edged sword, and my wife will agree. I don't like meatloaf, and because I don't like meatloaf, I put too much stuff in it to make me like it. And therefore, she doesn't like when I make meatloaf, especially because she likes meatloaf, and I try to make meatloaf for her. Here she comes.
Do you really try to make meatloaf for me?
I do.
Then why do you keep putting it on the smoker? You know I don't like it smoked.
Because that's how I want to cook it.
See? So you're not making it for me.
No. I am making it for you, but that's how I want to cook it. I hear you. I hear you. But the whole thing is, I'm trying to. If I want to use the smoker to cook something on the smoker, then that's now the last time I did meatloaf, I did not do it on the smoker. I think I did it in the oven. But I don't know. I wanted to smoke it. I wanted to put it on the smoker. So my wife, I won't say has an aversion, but she can only take or will only want certain things smoked. Like tonight, I made a pasta. I won't say macaroni and cheese because it's not macaroni. It's like a spiral pasta and cheese with brisket. So like a mac and cheese brisket, but it's not macaroni. My wife won't like it because I cooked it on the Traeger and it has a hint of smokiness from the brisket and a hint of smokiness from the Traeger. And the Traeger, even though it was only uncovered on the Traeger for 10 minutes, it has a hint of smoke flavor in it. And she's just not, I feel like she's not going to be a fan of it just because it tastes like smoke and it's not baked macaroni and cheese.
I'm a purist.
I didn't even offer it to her after it was done.
That means I like it the traditional way. I don't want my macaroni and cheese smoked. I want my macaroni and cheese in the oven, baked, not some pan stuff, baked and yummy. That's what I want.
It was very cheesy and it was delicious.
It's
what did you taste test to number 3?
Though.
Was it good? Yes or no? You have to.
Yes.
It was okay.
It's beyond just being cheesy.
But what?
The brisket didn't really go with it. Like, it didn't go with it like how it went with like the sloppy Joe.
I just think it's a different. It's just different. So you guys will hear tomorrow in the video that I also earlier this week made a brisket sloppy Joe. That was pretty fire. And yesterday I made the brisket pizzas, which also turned out pretty nice as well. So, but that's the video you're gonna see tomorrow, brisket pizza. So, my wife is just shaking her head like, no, it doesn't need to be smoked. It doesn't need to be smoked.
Oh.
Have you made dessert on the smoker? Yes, we did a dump cake. And we've made cookies. One of the things that was a little, I won't say off-putting, but we were expecting it to have a smoky. We did it on the Traeger though, so that might be the difference. If we used the charcoal grill to Charlotte or Sammy the big green egg, we might, because they use charcoal, we might get some charcoal flavor. But because I used the Traeger, there was no smoke flavor, and I kind of attribute some of that to the sweetness of the cookies and the sweetness of the dump cake kind of taking away from the smokiness of the Traeger. But they were still good. Like if I wouldn't have showed you that I cooked the dump cake on the Traeger or the cookies on the Traeger, you would not have known. Next best thing. What's going on? Mubu says bread is tricky. Yeah. My wife has a bread maker. I bought her a couple years ago for like Mother's Day. And that, we used a lot of, I won't say, she was baking a lot of bread, like during the beginning of the pandemic, working from home and things like that. She was baking 1 or 2 loaves of bread a week until we couldn't find yeast. then it was like cold turkey. We didn't have any. But then once we were able to find yeast again, or I was able to find yeast again, she started baking a little bit more. But it went from 2 loaves a week to just 1, and then it kind of fizzled out.
Pizza dough.
Yeah, we have not made. Oh man, don't do that, cause.
Pizza dough.
Oh, you did make a pizza dough.
Yes.
But your pizza dough, I thought you said your pizza dough came out more like a pretzel.
So the pizza dough was a little weird. We ate it the first day, and it was kind of weird. And then we used it for other things. We made a stromboli out of it, and we made pretzels out of it. So we just, experimented with dough.
Laura says, draws the line. Yeah, meatloaf is easy. Then make a sweet and sour sauce for the top. So she's a purist. No sweet and sour sauce.
No.
What?
I'm okay. Okay, so
What?
the thing is, you put that
Miss, it has to be ketchup.
No, and you put that sweet ketchup on it, and then it gets all sticky and yummy. So I wouldn't be averse to a sweet and sour thing because that's kind of.
Who
I can still
this
try
woman?
it. I can try it.
I don't know who
but
she
you
is.
can only put that.
You heard her talk about how much of a purist she was. And
you can only put that on a beef meatloaf. Now I don't want that on my turkey meatloaf. Those are two different things.
So what has to be on turkey meatloaf?
Turkey meatloaf is just turkey meatloaf. Sometimes you put barbecue sauce, maybe, and get that sticky. So it's very. It depends on what meat it is.
There's a fine line.
Yes, and I like either beef meatloaf or turkey meatloaf. I don't want anything else. That's it. Those are it. Those are the winners. Yes.
Mr. Fishy Isaac says he also has an issue with beef brontosaurus ribs. So you know what? I tell you what, with Mr. Fishy Isaac, with the beef ribs, cook them like brisket. Beef ribs are brisket on a stick. If you cook them like brisket, like prepare them like brisket, you will be just fine. Captain Newbie says I want to try some cold smoked. I want to try to cold smoke some cheese. I have done cold smoked cheese and it turns out very, very well. The one thing I will tell you to help your cheese last very long is you need to wear gloves. You cannot handle the cheese with your bare hands at all. Also, whatever you're going to be smoking it on, you need to put aluminum foil or something down on the grilling surface or whatever you're going to be smoking it in, because if it touches anything aside from that wrapper inside of the the cheese, the wrapper itself, it's going to mold. I actually had some cheese and I took it out and I probably used gloves, but I put it on the grate, and just putting it on the grate, the raw grate, just hold on, putting it on the raw grate after a few weeks, because they say when you smoke cheese, you need to vacuum seal it and then let it sit for at least a week or two before you eat it, because the smoke penetrates even deeper into the cheese. So after that 2 weeks was up, my cheese was already moldy, even though it was vacuum sealed in the refrigerator. Now, when I took extra precautions and you put gloves on my hands, put the cheese on aluminum foil, use the amazing smoking tube, and then took it off, also handled it with gloves, put it right into the vacuum seal bag, vacuum sealed it, and put it away, I was eating that cheese. I used that cheese probably 6 months later and there was no issues. So you have to be very careful about your cross-contamination when it comes to cheese. Again, this is another thing. In the video in tomorrow's video, I use some shredded cheese and I talk about pouring the cheese into your hand as opposed to reaching your hand into the bag, because the oils from your hands will they will accelerate the mold happening on the cheese. Go for it, playa. What's going on? Jamie says we don't make meatloaf in this house because someone doesn't like the word loaf. So we make square hamburgers. All right. Turkey burger sounds foul. Victor. He probably had to pull over to the side of the road in order to type that in. They can taste it when your heart is not in it. Well, I don't know, Jimmy. Smoky.
We can taste it.
Yeah. I love smoky on all my meats. Yeah, go for it. I get it. Isaac says he's going to send you our meatloaf recipe down here from Georgia. Please do. Look, here, I will. If you haven't already, Mr. Fishy Isaac, I'm not sure if you are following me or you are, you can DM me on Instagram, but I'm going to put my email address in the chat there. MDStillDrinkSmokers@gmail.com. Can you turn off the light in the kitchen since you're going up? FCB, what's going on? Jandro, kids throwing hands from the mouse babes. Yeah. Square hamburgers. Yes, indeed. I was meaning to make bread on the barbecue. I don't trust the machine maker. I do it by hand. Well, that's what's up. I am not skilled enough. Good night. You want to stay down here and talk, or you want to?
I can't.
Okay. All right.
I have a little baker.
A bugaboo. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right.
But sausage.
Sausage. What about sausage?
That's something I'm intimidated by. I haven't tackled yet.
Yeah, we haven't done sausage yet. It's just been one of those things where we haven't gotten up the gumption to do it. I have been saving bits and pieces of brisket fat for a while. It's just, yeah, we just haven't done it. So Mubu says, I was meaning to make bread on the barbecue. He said I don't trust the bread maker. I don't know, man. Like, I am more of a ease and get it done right type person. And so using the bread maker, get it done. Dave Thomas says, when you are looking at recipes on YouTube past your cooking comfort zone, which channels are your go-to channels? Dave, you know what? To be completely honest, I don't have a go-to channel because typically when I am looking for a recipe or looking for an answer on how to cook something, I will usually watch 3 to 5 videos on it to get different people's perspectives. What did I look up recently? I feel like I looked up something recently and I was like, or sometimes I'll look up, like, I can't think of what I looked up recently. Oh, you know what? I looked up how to steam fish. So, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago because I steamed some black sea bass. And I was in the restaurant depot and I had some sea bass. My wife told me that she wanted some sea bass. I bought some sea bass. And when I'm standing in line, there was this Asian gentleman behind me, and he's like, "Oh, sea bass, he's like so very good, everything like that." And he's like, "Oh man, how are you gonna cook it?" And I'm like, probably gonna fry it." He was like, No, you need to steam it. He's like, "Steam it, so much better." I was like, "Steaming it for real?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Steam it, steam it, steam it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll steam some fish." Never done that before. So I came home and I'm like, all right, well, how do I steam fish? So I looked up and I found a couple of recipes, and a few of the recipes were pretty simple. Take your fish, season it or score it, put a couple slits in it to help get some heat down in there, score it, season it, boom, and put it on a rack, steam it. So, typical Asian, steaming fish. Then there were a couple recipes where it was like you would steam it, but then take some hot oil and crisp up the outside skin. And I was like, that's interesting, but I didn't want to do that. But so what I ended up doing was, like I said, I looked up, I think I watched 3 different videos, almost 4, maybe even 5 different videos, and they were all very similar. So whenever I am trying to do some research on how to cook something, usually how to cook something new, or even refresh, like, man, I can't remember how to do this. How do I do it? 3 to 5 videos, and it could be random videos. I will look at one that has 100,000 views, one that has 1,000 views, one that has less than, because the person that has 1,000 views, they might not be doing anything that's super duper like refreshing or different, and they might not go into very much detail. The person that has 100 views might have a video that's twice as long, but they kind of explain and tell you, like I try to explain and tell you guys why I'm doing this, what happens if you do that, or I try to give you some of my experience when I do different things. So I kind of just I just watch a few different videos, and I don't have a go-to channel. That's usually whatever it is I'm cooking will determine what I'm looking at. Next best thing, she needs to get on camera to explain herself. She's gone already, man. I went on a 6-month tear making bread. Still haven't made it in the way I want it. Well, Captain Newbie, I see that's the rabbit hole I already know I don't want to go down. I've seen a few different people who, and the whole thing is, there were a lot of people who were making sourdough bread and starters and other things like that. And I thought about it. I came close because, like I said, my wife was making bread here, and then we couldn't get any yeast. And it's like, well, if we can't get yeast, I need to make a sourdough starter. I need to make a starter, and you can make a starter in like 2 weeks, and then boom, 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 you just keep it going. And I was like, I can't. I came close. I came very close. Um, Laura says I use B4 soup, vinegar, brown sugar, uh, dry mustard, garlic, and I guess soy sauce. Warm it up before taking it out. I've been poured on top. Set. Okay. Isaac says no ketchup. Gabriel says hello, you guys. Is that the Texas flag? Yes, it is. FCB says I smoked cheese on a grate a bunch of times and never had an issue with mold. You might use it up faster than I did, or whatever I cooked on the grate might have contributed to the mold. But man, what kind of bread? Okay. Captain Newbie says excellent cheese advice. Thank you for that. No problem. Sean R, what's going on? How you doing this evening? I was trying to make a large round. Okay, in a crock pot. Make bread in a crock pot? Big bread says I use rack, but I sanitized it. I smoked some cheese back in November. I still have some in my fridge, vacuum sealed, no mold. You're right, cleanliness is next to godliness with smoking cheese. Yes. You can fix your cheese problem by dipping the cheese in some melted wax. Ah, that's a very good idea. Thank you very much, Victor. I don't have wait, Victor, why do you have melted what? Never mind. Nope. Laura says it might be because of the cooking way. Yep, I agree. Jimmy says it's time to hit the thumbs up. Boom! If you haven't already hit the thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it if you could. Lou says, good evening, Dash. Got you on the big screen tonight. Oh, really, Lou? Hold on, let's see. What do you... oh, I see you, Lou. Lou, I'm watching you, Lou. I'm watching you. How you doing, Mr. Calamatas? How's everything going? Come on, focus. There we go. Lep, what's going on? Thank you, Mr. Fishy Isaac. Yeah, do me a favor, go ahead and shoot me whatever it is. I'm getting better at answering and responding to emails. Lou says my mother-in-law makes sausage every January, grinds up a bunch of pork butt, then adds salt and cures it, calls it sausage. Okay. Victor says the hot wax kills the mold spores while allowing the cheese to breathe. Well, that is very good to know. Eric Peterson says YouTube has helped my cook game step up several levels. I look at several videos on whatever I'm thinking of. Amazing what I've learned. Thanks for what you do. Well, thank you so very much, Eric. I appreciate it. Lou says to me it's ground pork. So Lou, I guess is it because there's no casing? So is it more like a ground pork patty, like a sausage patty? So kind of like a Jimmy Dean patty versus a link. Lou, thanks. Lumberjack Smokestack says explanation is key. So he gets it. Is your yeast active? Yes. Oh wait, I think you're talking to the other person. Steam fish, place a rack of skillet with a lid. Cabbage leaves on the rack. Place fish on cabbage leaves. Close lid. All right. Yeah, east of the yeast. Always appreciate the live feed. Lumberjack. Well, I appreciate that. Mimi! Hey, she says, hey, everybody. And for the record, Mimi is a girl. Mimi is a woman, not a girl, a woman. Because I've made a mistake before and said he or sir. That was what it was. I think I said sir. And I'm sorry. Anyway, what else is there? The things, I mean, we have Lamb. Somebody said lamb. Someone said brisket. Bread is something that is intimidating folks. So what else is there or are things that are intimidating to you guys? I know one of the things that was intimidating to me was sides. I had someone ask me to make brisket beans or baked beans with brisket in them, and I was like, you know what? I'll figure it out, and I did. Tonight was the first time I've actually put brisket, and I keep wanting to say mac and cheese because everyone knows mac and cheese, but it wasn't macaroni pasta. It was pasta, cheese, and brisket. It was like a spiral pasta, but it was really good. It was really good. Meatloaf is something I still struggle with. You guys who were here a couple minutes ago, my wife likes meatloaf way more than I do. So yeah, Boo Boo. Let's see, Maceo, what's going on? Victor, like the age. I buy the one where you do. Jimmy says, "Man, I've got you on the 70-inch screen. Don't do that." What's up, Jeff? Jeff LaFoe is in the building. How you doing this evening? Uh, Luce's nice eyes. Thank you very much. Oh, make sure there's no crust in my eyes next time I go in for my close-up. Uh, da, 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 da. Marcus says different kinds of fish. Oh, Biggie says whole alligator. Whoa. Yeah, I can't say I've ever cooked a whole alligator. Actually, I've never even cooked alligator tail. Yeah, we can't. Some of you guys are lucky enough where you can go get alligator tail like straight from in the market. I wish. Mubu says I let my ride. Okay, y'all still talking about bread. She uses casings with their may no seasoning, just salt. I don't know. I guess not enough seasoning. It's good, but it's just like going through all that work just to add salt. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. If you're gonna do it, do it. I agree. If you're gonna go through all the effort to grind up meat, then like really make it taste like something. I get it. KB says, "Hey, just got off work. Howdy, Dash. Well, heck, man. Boom. I'll drink to that." Jeff, why are you in the hospital? Hopefully, it's good in the hospital, not bad in the hospital. Uh, Marcus says salmon versus black drum versus redfish, etc. All cooked differently. Agree. So you have like your white fish, you have your meaty fish, and I mean all different. I won't say different types of proteins, but all of the muscular structure. I don't know how to explain that, but all the different textures of fish will cook differently. Smoked pecan pie is awesome, and the barbecue. Is it pecan or pecan? Excuse me. Lumberjacks' close-ups are for models and actors, not barbecue guys. We love crust as long as it's on the out meat. Yeah, Luce is making bacon intimidates me a little bit. I'm iffy on the curing salt. Lou, I think that's one of those things, man, where people just kind of they built it up and made it way worse than it actually is. Yeah. Pecan. I don't know. Pecan. My dad used to eat pecan swirls when I was a kid, and I cannot stand them now. Got some Buffalo Trace tonight. Cheers! That's what's up, man. I almost got some Buffalo Trace. I was in Costco on Monday, and I picked up they have a 36 pack. A 36 pack of Miller Lite. So I got 36 packs, $25. And I also got 2 bottles of the Kirkland French vodka. So the expensive Kirkland brand vodka. I like it. I like it a lot. So But I looked at the bourbon case and I was like, it's like I can't really afford the the ball out and buy a couple bottles of bourbon right now. I was just like, nope. I'm doing better with my credit card. Nope. Heart rate retention, water, trouble breathing. At least I don't have COVID, but this could be just as bad. Yeah, man. Well, Jeff, please take care of yourself, sir. Uh, Gabriel says stuffed flounder is the best, huh? So that's what's the thing that made you pause before you cook it? That steamed fish. I paused for that steamed fish, and today making macaroni and cheese, and I keep saying macaroni and cheese, but it wasn't macaroni and cheese. I don't make macaroni and cheese enough. Now my wife, again, my wife makes macaroni and cheese, and whenever we have a holiday or a get together or anything like that, she makes macaroni and cheese. Like for Christmas, for New Year's, Easter, she might make some. And again, she has her idea of what macaroni and cheese should be. And because I use a different pasta, she's like, just give me stink eye. And because I didn't put like eggs in it as a binder, and I didn't put salt and pepper in it, like and I put brisket in it, and there was just so many things that were different from how her. This is the box of what macaroni and cheese should look like and be, and if you don't check all of these boxes, then it's wrong and it's a sacrilege, and that was what I made tonight. So she was giving me like, I don't know how this is gonna be. This is an experiment, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, I shredded some yellow sharp cheddar. I shredded some, or one was sharp, one was not sharp, but a couple different cheddars. I even put some Velveeta. She got me into Velveeta for macaroni and cheese only. So cut up some Velveeta, put that in there because it's creamy. Um, put a little bit of heavy cream in it and the brisket. Mix it all together. Now, when she makes macaroni and cheese, her macaroni and cheese is soupy. I made macaroni and cheese. It was not soupy, and it turned out great. So she was like, "Well, we're gonna have to see, because she's like, the way my mom made it, and the way my mom taught me how to make it, blah blah blah." And I'm like, it worked the last time I did it this way. But I can count on one hand though, how many times I made macaroni and cheese. I won't say successfully, but I've only made macaroni and cheese. I think this is the third or fourth time I've made it. Period. And I stepped out on a limb and put brisket in it tonight. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, Jimmy. So one of the things, if I have a recipe, then I'm not as intimidated. But I also don't cook many new things, if that makes sense. Like I try to cook things that I have an idea of how to cook, or like some sort of inclination, and I don't have to look stuff up. A lot of things I kind of cook it like this or cook it like that. There was a video I did a long while ago. It was like a lamb breast, and when I looked at it, I was like, why is this saying lamb breast? This looks like ribs. And I cooked it like ribs, and it's not ribs. Yeah, we do uncured bacon. We love it. All right, B says, you guys, most fish are flaky, shark, and sturgeon have a grain to the meat more like beef. Okay. Uh, pecan is something you use on the side of the road when when you really gotta go. It's pecan, in my opinion. Pecan. I'm telling you, I just either way. Oh my gosh, Lou, you're hilarious, dude. Uh, West Coast Lager with the barbecue habit. Let's not talk about credit cards. Lumberjack man, dude. I want someone's burn this guy's house down. We were cooking a pig on monster, had a motor mounted to the ground to turn into him thing. I had 3 a.m. morning shift at 8 a.m. and caught fire. Whoa! Flame shot over his house, but about 3 feet away. I died a little that day. Man, I could talk to you about a grease fire. I had a grease fire on a cook once, and I know, like, I know now, anytime I travel anywhere, I travel with a like a spray bottle, like a pressurized spray bottle, because man, trying to, like, I know that everything inside of the grill is burning because there's a huge grease fire, and I had to send like the 10-year-old daughter of the people who hired me to cook inside the house to get me some water in like a tub, and she's like taking her time coming down the steps one at a time so she won't spill it. Like, I ran up the steps halfway and met her, and then like stood back and opened up the grill and was like splashing water in the. It's not a good time. I learned a good lesson that day. Kevin Sinclair says hello again from Scotland. Well, hello. Thank you very much. Uh, Captain Newbie says house survived and the pig was good. Wow. Barbecue cheesecake. What? How? Pour flour into the grease and threw adobo at the pig. Nice. Nice. Like, you take this. Adobo. Adobo. It's like saying abracadabra. Adobo. Adobo. 4 is always a good teacher. Kevin says, is there anything you wouldn't barbecue? Oh, actually, a meat that I'm intimidated by, and I've said this before, deer. One of the parents, so one of the kids that's in Taste Tester number 2's class, his father is an avid deer hunter, and he goes from where we live, Maryland, but there's an Eastern Shore, which is the eastern part of Maryland, closer to the ocean. Anyway, but on the other side of the bay in Maryland, there are a deer, like the species is called Sika, and they are better, apparently much better than white-tailed deer to eat. And this dude was ranting and raving about this Sika deer, and he gave me deer meat, and I'm like, okay. I've had it in my freezer for like a year or two, probably closer to 2. Fire is always a good teacher. Yes, indeed. More. What's going on? No more Vance. Kevin and Jasmine. How you guys doing? How's the new one? The baby. Da, 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 da. Deer taste best breaded and fried like chicken fried steak. Okay. B says Axis deer is the best. I couldn't tell you. Yeah, so Marcus says not a lot of fat on it, which is exactly why I know better. There are just certain meats that I would not barbecue. Like, people are like, yo, can you smoke me some lamb chops? No. Yo, why can't you smoke me lamb chops? Because lamb chops don't get smoked. Like, they don't have enough fat to do anything. Like, you cook lamb chops hot and fast. That's how they need to be cooked. Nah, man, you could smoke those. It's not. They're gonna taste like rubber. Like, you don't. Just because you have a smoker doesn't mean you need to smoke everything. Yeah. Are they mule deer? I have no idea, Laura. I have never even seen a picture of a Sika deer. Marcus says Axis is the best. Okay, antelope is close to the deer you mentioned, in my opinion. All right. Zach, he says, hey, yo. Gabriel, all y'all Texas folks keep talking about Axis. The children are fine. They are fine. Actually, Taste Tester number 3 was down here a little earlier with my wife, and she will be in the video for tomorrow. Yes, there's going to be a video tomorrow. I pushed past my cooking comfort zone and bought a Sous vide. Zach, man, you know what? I've had a Sous vide now for probably 2 years, and I use it. every now and again, but it is not a go-to device for me. Like, I've used it to warm things up. I've used it to keep things at temperature. But I mean, I probably use the sous vide nowadays once, maybe twice every month, every other month. Dave says pork steaks, grill or smoke. So I've never done pork steaks, Dave. Pork steaks is just not something that's very common up here. I can't get pork steaks. I know pork steaks are just pork shoulder that is trimmed into a steak, but they don't do that around here. Lamb chops are for a hot grill. Yes, indeed, lumberjack. Grills, cheese, his dash doesn't dine on swine, and he's a barbecue genius. Strange times. Cheers from Canada. Yeah, just because I don't eat it anymore. I used to taste everything that I cooked, and I just stopped. Like I said, it was a health thing, but I used to taste everything. But then the whole thing is, if it smells right, then it's going to taste right. So that's why I stopped tasting everything. So yeah. Lars says, ate so much lamb growing up. Is there any vegetables that takes on a good smoke flavor? I have not found one, Kevin, and I have been pleasantly surprised at how much vegetables you can cook, or how you can cook vegetables on a grill and it won't. Oh, you know what? An exception to that would be cabbage. But I smoke cabbage. I actually did a video on smoking cabbage. It wasn't 6 months ago, but it was probably in the last 6 months. I guess it might have been 6 months ago. I haven't made videos in 3. Anyway, um, but smoked cabbage. I've like cooked mushrooms. I've cooked mushrooms slow. I've cooked mushrooms fast. They take on zero smoke flavor. Eggplant, zucchini, I have not gotten it to take on any smoke flavor. The only vegetable that I've done recently that I can remember was cabbage. That actually, yeah, it took on like some smoke flavor. Looking forward to seeing the video tomorrow. Yes, indeed. I made brisket pizza. I made brisket pizza in the 15-inch skillet. Lou says, what cut of deer? Backstrap. So, man, I keep hearing about this backstrap. Like, yo, I don't. Again, I am a city boy. I don't know nothing about deer. Actually, like, what died on the freeze? Yeah. Smothered pork steaks are good. All right. We have used it for a few things. We absolutely love it for steak. The other stuff is just okay. Parsnip is good. So we like parsnips. My wife got. She, I won't. I don't know if it's considered a co-op, but it was like a. I don't know how to say it, but and I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a secondhand fruit and produce type thing. So like she saw something and it was like, hey, stuff that goes to the market and is put in the markets are like first grade or whatever. But there's some stuff that like the odd carrots that grow odd, or carrots that are stumpy and they don't look perfect, things like that. You can get a box of all of these different, fruits and vegetables for like pennies on the dollar compared to what you get at the market. And it was delivered to the house. So during the pandemic, duh, no brainer. So one of the boxes, or a few of the boxes, had parsnips in them. So we got parsnips, and it was one of those things where it was like, looks like a carrot, doesn't taste like a carrot. Well, we like it. So, we've eaten parsnips, but I've never smoked them. Gave my wife a sous vide for Christmas 2 years ago, and it's still in a box. Well, I'm telling you, Jimmy, it's one of those things where you kind of have to push yourself really out of your comfort zone in order to use it. With the sous vide, you have to have the supporting mods, if you will. So you have to have a sous vide. You really need to have a vacuum sealer. Cooking stuff in a plastic bag that you kind of just poke it doesn't work very well. You really need all of the air to be sucked out of your bag so that when you're cooking, your meat doesn't float. Excuse me. 1 hour in, and I say meat, but so whatever it is you're cooking doesn't float. If it smells right, it tastes right. Could not be more true. That's how I tempt my offset cooks. All right. Portobello mushrooms with butter and crab. Nice. But the crab is going to take on the flavor of the smoke and not the portobello mushrooms. The mushrooms do not take smoke. Damn it. I started talking before I finished swallowing the beer. Lou says smoking spaghetti squash is pretty good. I did smoke a spaghetti squash a couple weeks ago. I had a butternut squash and a spaghetti squash, and aside from me dying right now, I think that's the first time I've really choked on one of these live streams. It's like the first time for everything, huh? But I did, Lou, and I made it, and it didn't have a real smoky flavor. The problem was I put olive oil and salt and pepper on it. And now my wife is a big fan of butternut squash, but the spaghetti squash I actually ate, and it was good. The problem with it was it tasted too oily for her. It tasted too much like oil, so she was turned off by that. Now, had I used a butter for my fat on the squash, then she probably would have eaten it, accepted it a lot more. But she said it was just too greasy tasting. Gabriel says chicken fried backstrap is the best. Huh. Again, never had backstrap. That's why I smoke the salt for the veg. Salt will yes take good smoke. Definitely, I've smoked salt a couple times. No, it is not. It's Miller Lite low on. It keeps my sugar low. Huh. High life. Well, gosh. Who's keeping count? How many was that? I'm not telling you. Reaches into the bag, pulls out another. Yeah, but eating me. Oh man, I know I had more than one. Dude, I got a text message from one of my neighbors, and she said there's a dozen deer in your yard, and this was a week or two ago. And sure enough, I was just walking out the door. I was heading out the door, and I was getting ready to get in my car. Started my car, then walked down the driveway and poked my head around the corner and looked in the backyard. And sure enough, it was almost a dozen deer in the yard. Huh. Lou, no, I don't need the Heimlich. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate the offer, though. Who knows how to spell Heimlich? On the strength of just knowing how to spell Heimlich. Thanks, Lou. I mean, but then again, Calamatas. You spell Calamatas all the time, so Heimlich might not be too bad. Mike, how you doing this evening? He says, "Hey, Dash." Gabriel says, "Cheers to all, Chief." Zax is kind of missed my beer. Started doing keto in January and had already lost 45 pounds. Jeez. I want to say I'm not disciplined enough, but I tell you what, man, I go through spells where I don't drink, and then I do drink, and then I don't drink. If I buy, I went and bought beer specifically because I was like, I haven't had beer in, and I don't think I've bought beer. I haven't had beer in my house. I feel like a month or two almost. It's been a while. Horrible. No, it's not horrible. It gives me the beer taste that I need. And wait, I guess up there in Canada, you said it's made by Michelob, because this is made Miller Brewing Company in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Um, so maybe your Miller Lite and my Miller Lite are different, but then again, you guys have Molson. What was it Molson Triple X? Molson, yeah, Molson Triple X. I remember getting some of that stuff back in the day. I mean, this is 20 years plus ago, and I'm like, damn, that was some high test beer. I mean, it was like 7.5% alcohol, and a beer. It was one of those things where it was hard to find down here. So, backstrap is tender, but not much flavor. Victor says, okay. Never broke. What's up? How you doing? It says, what up, Dash? How's it going? It's going. It's going. It's going, man. How's everything with you? Almost bought some more Sens today. Gosh, we are in the second hour, huh? I wish, man. I am, dude. Freaking AMC. I mean, oh my gosh. I know, I got a little. It went from $12.12 at 12.18, and it dropped to $9.50 at 12.43. It dropped 25% in 30 minutes. I was sick. Because all right, so let me catch up on the comments, and we'll talk more about the stocks. All right. Mike is just looking forward to a week off next week. Shoot, I would too. I'm part health teacher, but I did Google it. All right, that's what's up. Mubu says, well, I can say blue. I can't. I quit drinking after having 2 40-ounce Ice House edges on a work night. Whoa. Wow, wow. Mubu says Triple X is long gone and 7.4. I know. See. Want to see me heave? Give me some Kalamata, but give me V8. Yeah. I don't mind V8. I'm not a fan of Kalamata. Just not my thing. All right, so earlier this year, I was like, all right, you know what? I did some debt consolidation. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna take, as opposed to paying everything off, I said I'm gonna take $1,000. I'm gonna put it in, and I'm like, this is my gambling money basically. So I gambled and I put some money in AMC and GameStop when everything was popping off. And I was like, all right, I was doing okay, and then the rug got pulled out from under me, and I was like, whoa, what the hell? So I was down, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Like, I'm diamond hands. I'm holding. I said, you know what? Let me do some more digging. Let me do some more things. So let me take another $500. I threw another $500 out there. I said, all right, cool. And I was like, just it was still going down. I said, you know what? I got another $100. Boom, I throw that out there. So I invested $1,600. Right, my portfolio dropped from $1,600 to $1,200, if that. And I was like, well, and mind you, this is my gambling portfolio, not my portfolio. So I was like, whoa, I need to do some numbers to figure out what it needs to be. Now, I sold out all my positions in GameStop, and I was only holding AMC because I'm like, between GameStop and AMC, I trust AMC to come back. And GameStop took off before AMC did, and I was like, did I make the right decision? So then AMC started coming back earlier this week, and I was like, all right, bet. So I'm watching it earlier today, and it was at 12, and it was at 12, almost 12.50. No, It was at $12. It was around $12, and I'm like, I'm in the like definitely in the green, and I'm like, all right. I went to lunch, driving to lunch, and I am, you know, on my way. I went to Five Guys today. So I'm leaving out. When I leave out, I actually got a call from Marcus. When Marcus sent me a text message, he's like, "Hey man, can you talk?" I'm like, "Dude, how do you always manage to hit me up when I'm in my car?" So I talked to him on my ride back from Five Guys to work. When I sat down at my desk, I was like, "What the hell just happened?" My gambling money went from $1,800 to $1,400, and I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" And I'm looking at it, and AMC dropped from $12 to $9.50. Or no, yeah, about $9.50, $9.60, where it bottomed. And I was like, "Here we go again." Like, I'm just gonna. And it came. I'm gonna say it came back, but it went up again about 130 to a little over $11. Now that put me back into the black, but because my average was $8.25 or something like that, and I have 150 shares about. So I was like, I needed to go above. I needed it to go above like $10.80 in order for me to be in the black. And I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm gonna pull the plug at $15. I should have pulled the plug at 12 and then watched it. Yeah. Bears 8.4, but it tastes like wallpaper. I can imagine. Harry Nutsack says tenderloin. Okay. Something. So I cooked a tenderloin, and I had somebody years ago. She was pressed for me to smoke a tenderloin, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. So very lean. But what I ended up doing was just like I undercooked it a little bit because I knew that she was going to have it sitting on a warmer. Excuse me. And she was fine. She said it was great. My wife and kids, yeah. Jamie says, make sure you send an invoice to Marcus for the call. I don't know, man. I might have to start billing them, but no, nope. That was you guys got back. Trading this $7 and I had. Oh, nope. Barbecue bank account. Yeah, man. Basically, but that was the whole thing, man. I was like, you know what? This is the money. Like I said, this is the gambling. You know, I don't gamble. I don't gamble. And earlier today, earlier today, I was like, oh, I wanted to even up my position with AMC. So I was like, oh, like I think, all right, what's it going to take for me to even out my position? Because I had 147 and some change shares, and I was like, I have to get that number even to 150. So I sent $50, and it wasn't $50. It ended up being $22. So from the 50, whatever was left, it was I think it was 17. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm throwing $17 at GameStop, and it was going up, man. It was 20 or 25% up. Yo, until I came back from lunch, and it dropped. It dropped by 50% because it was 25% up, and then it dropped by 25%. I was like, yo, what the hell just happened? Look, I am. I mean, I'm not one of these folks that like bought into these stocks when it was like at its peak. But I mean, I am like I could pull my money out and be okay with a little bit of loss because I'll make it back before the end of the year. But man, I was not very happy. Mubu, the volume didn't go down. The whole thing was, man, it was like a fire sale. Everybody, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. never broke says best beer is Budweiser. What? No. I don't. I only drink Budweiser when it's free. And then it has to be cold and free in order for me to drink it. Yep, Captain Newbie, I am going to hold. I'm going to HLOD. I'm definitely going to hold. Any more barbecue cooking videos? Yeah, one tomorrow. Technically, it's not really a barbecue video because I used brisket that I cooked on the Weber kettle over the weekend. But it's like I used the brisket. I used the brisket leftovers to make my dinner last night. So I've actually made brisket 3 nights, or used brisket leftovers 3 nights in a row. I did not plan on making a video, or I did not want to make a video on Monday. It was sloppy Joe, and it was kind of like I threw it together last minute. But it turned out really, really well. Last night, I made the brisket pizza, and that turned out really well as well. The pizza that I did in the video looked worse than the second pizza. I actually made a second pizza, and that one, like, it looked perfect. But, like, I didn't feel like pulling out the camera equipment again when I made the second pizza. So the first pizza, my daughter and I ate half of it. Then my taste tester number 2 came down, and he ate 2 slices, and there were 2 slices left. And my wife was like, "There's 2 slices left for taste tester number 1. It's not gonna be enough." And I'm like, And taste tester number 2 was like, "Yeah, I'm still hungry. Can I eat more?" And I was like, "Darn it." So I said, "All right, well, I'll make another pizza." So I made another pizza, and the second one turned out way better. I just let the first one cook maybe a minute or two too long. And the second one, like I said, it turned out great. So, but so though it's not a barbecue video because I'm not like cooking on a grill, I use barbecue meat for the cook. It was brisket. My wife earlier or late last week said so my wife cooked all excuse me. My wife cooked all last week. She had a menu and everything stuck to the menu, and I was like, okay, I can't top that. I said, but what I can do is I'll smoke a brisket on Sunday, and then I'll cook it all week long. I'll use it all week long. So Monday I made, like I said, sloppy Joe. Tuesday I made brisket pizza. Tonight I made a brisket macaroni and cheese with some spiral pasta, not macaroni. But it was really good. My wife actually made chicken wings on the grill, on her grill. So she's like, "Why wouldn't you do the macaroni and cheese tomorrow?" And I was like, "Cause I work from home tomorrow, and it's not easy for me to sit and, like, do the stuff that I need to do. Like, when I can do it when I don't have to worry about working, like when I'm supposed to be working." So I don't know. I'll figure out something to do with brisket again tomorrow. Boo Boo says, "Is it all dressed brisket pizza?" What do you mean all dressed? I mean, I seasoned the brisket. I warmed up the brisket. It's only 10:18, not early, not late enough yet. So the brisket is cooked. I mean, seasoned like I would and prepared the way that I would if I was smoking it for a customer. And I just slice it up, put it in a bag, put it in the refrigerator. Before I put it on the pizza, though, I cut it into, like, I diced it and cut it up into smaller pieces. Warmed it up in a skillet, and then used some barbecue sauce in lieu of tomato sauce, and put the brisket on top of the barbecue sauce, and then the cheese on top. Then I put a little bit of drizzle with the barbecue sauce on top of it, and cooked it in the oven. Six pack, ice. Whoa. That's what's up, Mike. I have to use oregano and marinade. I mean, there wasn't toppings on it. It was just brisket, barbecue sauce, and cheese. Let's just sell brisket for about a pound and a whole brisket. Manny, my brisket by the pound is $18 a pound currently, and the whole brisket is $140. I know I'm undercharging though. Brisket dogs, I'll bet that would be good. Yeah, man. So Jimmy, my wife was talking about it earlier. We have not used the sausage attachment for her KitchenAid. She bought a sausage making attachment for her KitchenAid, and we just have not done it yet. Yeah, so Captain Newbie, warming up the brisket is key because it's not going to be the pizza only takes 10 to 15 minutes to cook, depending on how you are cooking it, and if the brisket isn't already warm, it probably won't be warm or won't stay warm. So warming it up is key, and one of the things warming up the brisket in the skillet. And I talk about this in the video, it helps to bring the skillet up to temperature so that the bottom of the pizza dough crisps up a bit, as well as it puts some of that grease down to help the pizza not stick to the cast iron skillet. So it's a win-win. Welcome back, Laura. Yeah. All right. Forgot her coffee. Whoops. Don't you hate it when that happens? Like today. So, I took my sons to go get haircuts. Usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays is when every other week they get haircuts, right? So, I'm walking out the door and, I have earbud in right now, right? So we go to the barbershop, and if I'm not involved in whatever there's two barbers in the barbershop, and if I'm not involved in whatever conversation they're having, I just put on my headphones and I will put on YouTube and I'll watch videos on YouTube. I'm sorry. So today I was like, I walked out the door and I left my headphones charging. So I was like, darn it. I gotta go back in the house to get my headphones. So when I walked in, my wife says, "Hey, since you're walking in that direction back into the house, can you go check my grill, make sure that everything's working so that I can use it?" I'm like, "All right." So I go outside, I check her grill. Lo and behold, it's out of propane. So I was like, "Oh, let me change the tank." I changed the tank, come back inside. She says, "You were gone for a while. Was wondering if something was wrong." I said, "No, nothing wrong. Just had to change the tank." So apparently some snow fell off the roof, hit one of the shelves, and it turned on the knob just enough so it had a slow leak. So the propane that was in there, it's gone. It was gone. So the knob was just turned slightly. So I'm like, all right, great. So when I came back in the house, she was like, "Oh, was worried. You were gone for a while." So I had to change the tank. So I walk out the door. I get halfway to my car and I'm like, damn it, I never got my headphones. So I had to come back inside the house and get my headphones. So yes, Laura, I know all about it. Eric, what's going on? He says popping in late is better than not popping in at all. Hey, yo, Dash and all. Yes, indeed. Harry says, I just made pizza on the kettle, peppers and onions and ham and pineapple. That's what's up. That sounds pretty good, man. Are you, obviously, Harry, you are one that does not mind pineapple and ham. I understand why people like pineapple and ham. It's sweet and savory. But there are some people that like pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. I don't get it. I don't get why people are so up in arms about pineapple being on pizza. Popping, not pooping. Yeah, I read it as popping. Meeg says thumbs up. What's going on, man? Hey, Meegs, I moved. I had your box of stuff right here. Let's see. I had the box of. So where that fan is where the box of sauces that you sent. That's where that box of sauces was. And so it was like I could see it every time I'm sitting here. So when I would talk and I'm like, I point across the table, that's where the box was. And I just had to move it yesterday. And I'm like, but I still have like half of those sauces. Like we've used a bunch of them. I used it's like a ghost pepper mayonnaise or something. Dude, I've been using that to make deli sandwiches. Man, that stuff is good. It's hot, but it's good. I feel my wife says we can only open one bottle at a time, and I'm like, all right, I gotta. Fattener's Geek File is hi, brother. Sorry I'm late. No worries. Captain Newbie, yeah. Eric says I like pineapple, pepperoni, and jalapenos. Okay. Luce is a good chat tonight. I have a date with the back of my eyelids, so I'm exhausted. Take care, everyone. No problem, man. How is the little one doing, sir? I should have asked you that earlier, but yeah. Fatteners says I want a complete burnt ends recipe completely from the trigger on a trigger. If you can do that, that would be awesome. So one of the things you probably learn about me, for if you watch any of my videos, I don't do recipes. I just talk about what I cook. I am not one of these people that says I use this amount of this and I use this amount of that and I cooked it for this specific time. I don't cook like that. I just kind of wing it. And a lot of times when I'm filming or I'm cooking, I wing it and bring you guys along. Or I am telling you about like the things that I'll give more detail on are the videos that are catering related. Because that's something this is what works. This is what didn't work. When I'm cooking, I don't necessarily go by a recipe. So I can't give you a recipe, especially when you're demanding I want a complete burnt ends recipe. I don't even do burnt ends. He says, yeah, I'll do, man. We are definitely enjoying them. Fatner says, great channel. Well, thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. A little bit of this and a little bit of, yeah. Mike. Oh, that is an inside joke that not too many people are going to understand, but dude. A little bit of F and a little bit of U. Mike, you are too funny. Little one is good. Big one is good. No one wants to sleep. Lou, it happens, man. It happens. It happens. Oh man, Mike, dude, that made my night. Showing the method is what I have learned the most from. Yeah, because the whole deal is like everybody wants something different. And how I season something or how I cook something specifically, it might not work for you. I like spicy. If I want to put something spicy in my food and you like, oh, I can't follow that recipe because he put red pepper flakes in it. Okay, then all right. But the method of how it's cooked is what I want to show you. The process is what I want to show you. And that process doesn't include like detailed. I don't always do detailed steps. Sometimes I'm just like, I did it for this, and it was about this, and about that, and about this. There are plenty of other channels out there that will give you I put 157 grams of salt in, and 133 grams of pepper, and I'm not that precise. I sprinkle a little bit of this, I sprinkle a little bit of that, and exactly what I'm sprinkling, a little bit of this and I'm sprinkling a little bit of that. I don't tell you on purpose. I got to keep some things to myself. So, oh man. Hey, if you haven't already hit that thumbs up button for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. And here's another thing. You know what? One of the other things that I've if you are here and you haven't said hi, say hi. Leave a comment. Say hi. I would love to say hi to you. Definitely. And if you are new here and have never seen or are new, this is the first live stream, let me know. Boo Boo says hi. Alex Bear says hi. Alex, I don't think I don't remember seeing that name before. Are you new here? I'm not going to pick on you, but yeah. Meeks' best recipes are guesstimates. LOL, like my grandmother's whole recipe book. Hell yeah, man. Hobo Nickel, what's going on? How you doing this evening? He says, howdy, fam. Fat Nerd says, I understand. Dude, I'm not picking on you. I'm not. And but I don't do like the whole detailed recipe type thing. I don't. I didn't I didn't start my channel. I didn't do barbecue cooking to give out recipes. There's so many other people that give out like detailed cooking recipes. And my whole thing is I can't do that because I don't cook like that. I don't. Like if I'm using a recipe, okay, I can regurgitate a recipe, but I mean, even after I use a recipe or look at a recipe, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a lot of that. You know, one of those deals. Marcus, how you doing? All right, Alex says yes. He's new here. Well, all right, welcome. Hold on, if you do not have a refreshing beverage, please take it upon yourself to go get yourself one if you are in a position to do so. I know some people kind of hang out and listen and or watch while or driving or working or putting kids down or cleaning or cooking. If you're cooking on a Wednesday night, bless you. Uh, Captain Newbie says, I like when someone has a handful of salt and tells you it's 2 teaspoons. Yeah, man, I don't do that. I don't do that at all. Mubu says, best book is no book. A little F and a little U is all you need to know. Yes, Jimmy. Yes, indeed. Mr. Richard, how you doing this evening? Blind Man Cooking says, what's up, everyone? So, I know you might not be able to see it, but typically, what's up is the roof or the ceiling. Just saying. I know it's been like a week or two since you've been here, but suffice it to say, I have it on good authority that a roof, ceiling, maybe a ceiling fan or a light, that's what's up. Welcome, Alex. Peanut butter whiskey for me tonight. Nice, Megs. Dude, I had some peanut butter whiskey. What was it called? It was a sheep on it or something. And I had it a while ago, and I was like, I don't know about this, but then started drinking it and was like, wow, this is pretty good. Lou says, nope, Dash doesn't pick on you unless your name is Lloyd. On that note, I'm going to bed. Peace. Yeah, well, Lloyder's going to Lloyd. Yeah, the screwball. It's pretty good. I haven't had any, I looked at more of it, but haven't bought any more of it. But that stuff is pretty good. Mubu says after the brisket is done, use your sauce and chunk up a piece of it. Put the meat back on direct heat until crisp. Yeah, so, I've done, I've done burnt ends one time. And it was for a gathering at my sister-in-law's house. So the whole deal is you cook your brisket up however you're going to cook your brisket. And if you look back at my videos, I always separate the point from the flat. Now, if you're specifically making burnt ends, you're going to take the point, which is the moist or the fattier bit of brisket. You're going to cut it up into 1 by 1 or 1.5 by 1.5 inch cubes. And then some people will say, brown sugar and barbecue sauce, or just barbecue sauce, just like butter and barbecue sauce. It's kind of up to you. Now, I've done a poor man's burnt ends, though I have videos on that, and that was just a chuck roast. And the whole deal is the chuck roast just stands in for the brisket, and it comes out pretty similarly to how burnt ends does. So, fatteners, Hopefully that helps. Could also be the sky, depending on where you're at. You're absolutely right, blind man. You're absolutely. You know what? I see what you did there. Actually, you know what? I'm not making a good example because I told Alex that we wouldn't pick on him because him, her, I don't know. Alex, it's one of those names. I want to be PC, but see, blind man cooking. He's been here a while. He understands what goes on. So we pick on him every now and again because he's late. That's why I'm picking on him right now. Meek says Mike got me the bottle of Screwball, so I'm sitting proper tonight. Hell yeah. Captain Newbie says, you know that bonding when you and your children eat at the cutting board. Yes, man, dude. I have an island in the kitchen. You guys usually see. So my camera is set up on the one end of the island, and I'm on the far end of the island. And there are plenty of times where we sit and we eat off that island. A lot of the videos of us tasting different things and eating different things is done on that island. So if you look back and see a good majority of the videos, if you see the windows behind me, then I'm on the long way of the island. And if you see the stove and the cabinets behind me, I'm on the short island, short way. Excuse me. Captain Newbie says that is awesome. Yeah. Mm. Meeks says made Salisbury steak from venison tonight. Turned out pretty good. Meeks, man, you must have heard me talking about deer. Deer is one of those things that I am definitely intimidated about. Excuse me. It's so lean that I just like I don't want to mess it up. I want to dry it out. So Laura's back. Guess who's back? Good luck. Is there a drawing or something happening right now? Everybody cross their fingers for Laura. Do I need to set up a drum roll for you, Laura? I smoked some bank card and got chic filet. Man, got Chick-fil-A. Same with moose and bison. Yeah, never had moose. Bison is really lean. I had duck fat. Pan fries great that way. A little salt and pepper too. Okay. Man, speaking of, well, I know you're talking about the way you prepared it, but I made some fries, some homemade French fries. Man, they were so good. We have a mandolin. Ooh. All right. Let's all cross our fingers for Laura. So I have a mandolin. You know, the thing you slice vegetables across and, you do like cuts and stuff. So the mandolin has a julienne attachment. So there's like prongs that stick straight up and then you slice. Man, I made some fries last week. They were so perfect. They were perfect shoestring fries. So good. Jimmy says Italian dressing marinade and low and slow on deer. Can't go wrong. Huh. MTG, what's going on? Johnny. He says hello, hello, hello. Just getting here. Had had pirate practice? He said I had Oh, had to work late. Okay. It's a glitch in the matrix. I thought it was pirate practice. Mubu says Carolina dressing is better than Italian in my opinion. I don't know, man. I won't say I don't trust Italian Carolina dressing, but Carolina dressing is very vinegary from what I am thinking of. Mike says Italian dressing is also good on pork chops and chicken. Also, Italian dressing is a very good marinade. My mom, growing up, used to make Italian dressing chicken like almost every. So when I was younger, my mom used to fry chicken almost every Sunday, and then after got a little health conscious, she would bake the chicken in Italian dressing. Yeah. Marcus says Carolina dressing. Yeah, go on, please do tell. Meek says Italian dressing on a burger is a win too. All right. Um, Jimmy on pork, chicken, it's raspberry salad dressing, fried or blackened in the oven in around 2 or so teaspoons. Mubu says Catalina dressing, same thing. Catalina, same thing as Italian or same thing as Carolina dressing? Baked even, yeah, Laura, definitely. Raspberry dressing sounds good, and pork and chicken, yeah. Like a raspberry vinaigrette. Blind Man Cooking says I grilled some moose burgers a couple weeks ago. How'd they turn out? Moose burgers. I don't even. All right. What does moose taste like? Does moose taste like beef? Meek says moose is good. Caribou is my favorite big game. I don't know anything about those. I live in a city. Carolina and Catalina, same thing. Moose is awesome. All right. But what does it taste like? Is that the proper way to ask? Or is it like, what does it remind you of? How about this? So, Miss Moose Hunting. I mean... How do you move a moose after you hunt it? Like after you kill it? We're just setting the thaw out. Yeah, I know, Mike. Captain East Coast over here. Wild beef, okay. Meeks is funny. Well, it don't taste like chicken. Okay, that's a start in the right direction. Meeks says quarter it up and haul it out. Okay. My man says they were delicious. All right. Golly. I mean, still, it's a moose. How much does a moose weigh? Yo, an adult moose can weigh between 840. No, excuse me. A moose can weigh between 840 and 1,500 pounds as an adult. For a male. And a female can weigh 440 to 790 excuse me, pounds as an adult. That's a lot of that's huge. That's huge. Yo, Ken, how you doing? I just burned out a new pit I made, painting it in high temp black, of course. What do you think of the name, Ebony Express? I mean, I think it's a lot to say, but I mean, just name it. Just say Ebony. If you so choose. I don't know. I'm all about simplicity. Like you guys know, like the big smoker, Bessie. Her full name is Bessie the Kick-Ass Smoker, but I don't refer to her. I just call her Bessie. Because in the beginning, the whole thing was I was calling it. I was like, man, this is such a kick-ass smoker, such a kick-ass smoker. So the name was the Kick-Ass Smoker, and it stuck to an extent. And then some of my Instagram followers like, nah, it needs a real name, and Nestor, the Brooklyn pit rat, was like, it should be called Bessie. And I was like, oh, okay. Bessie. And that's what got me started naming everything. And then once I started doing the YouTube thing, it was like, all right, they need names because they're all characters. This is side by side. Okay, Meeks. Moo says a metric ton. Alex says, I like buffalo. Or it like buffalo, Alex. You know, I have honestly, I can say that I've had buffalo like in a burger, and I didn't like it. Tasted like beef to me. You had the video. Da, da, da. Yeah. Lawrence is up to 2,000 pounds for a bull. Let the dairy have thaw. Put in the refrigerator for a day in Italian dressing. Smoke medium rare. And never turn back. It might be something I bring with me, Jimmy. Tina. I don't know. So here's the thing, Kent. When I name a cooker, like the name. It comes to me, and it's like, that's it. Like that's it. Like or like with Bernadette, she kept burning stuff. So that's why the first 2 or 3 cooks on that cooker, like stuff got burnt in that cooker. So I was like, man, she burning stuff, and I was like, oh man, Bernadette, that's perfect. The names come and the names fit smokers. Let's put it that way. Frida, the newest acquisition. The name is Frida, is because I got the grill for free. I'm like, well, how do I work that out? My grill table, Johnny 5, it's a 5 foot long grill table. And I really loved the movie Short Circuit as a kid, and also kind of an homage to my grandfather, whose name was Johnny. So, it's one of those things. Charlotte, it's a Weber kettle. And, it's like Weber, Charlotte's Web. Sammy is a big green egg. So it was like, Sam I Am and the green eggs. So is that... Yeah, I think that's how that worked out. When I brought that cooker home, I was talking to my son, taste test number 1, and I think it was like Sam I Am and the green eggs. And I think that's how I was like, you know what, Sammy. Tracy Traeger, as I was putting it together, I was like, you know what? You are Tracy. Trying to think some of the other girls that Vicky got her name because she treated me like a Vicky that I knew. Yeah. Kent says Tina Turner. Well, is it a rotisserie, Kent? It's very lean. I could. Alex says it's very lean buffalo. I'm aware. I have, like I said, I do believe I've had buffalo, but it was like in burgers. Kent says I'm cooking on it at the shop for the first time on Friday. Well, good luck, sir. Kent says my master built pellet is missing. I don't know. Like that, the name, it's gotta mean something to me. Like that, I don't just willy nilly name stuff. Like, that's why for Charlotte, it took me a while to name that one. Like I couldn't decide, and I actually opened up the naming to you guys, and I was like, hey, what do you guys want to name it? And you guys came through. When I got the van, I was like, oh man, I'm thinking of names for the van, this and another. And somebody was like, Van White. I was like, boom, that works. So, I mean, Debbie. So my last car was a Jetta, and the Jetta. So the Jetta you see when I'm pulling the Weber Smoky Mountain. So the Jetta was affectionately named the mistress because I spent so much time in the car, and it was just like she was my mistress, right? So when I got when I got my Passat, the black Passat, Debbie was so much more well defined, refined rather. And she was like, it was a whole upper echelon of like, just like, so Debbie and my buddy, he was like, yo, the mistress to the Passat. He's like, yo, you went from like, not a hood rat chick, but my Jetta was lowered. It had wheels on it. It had stickers all on it, and it was just like it was the mistress versus this new high class vehicle. And he was like, yo, it's like she's a debutante. So that's how Debbie came about, and it just flowed like Debbie Diesel. So Debbie is short for the debutante. Do I have a favorite? I don't, blind man. I don't. That's one of these questions I get asked all the time. Do I have a favorite? No. I cook on whatever cooker is going to give me the easiest cook and that I can fit what I have to cook on. Canning moose. Moose is can't eat fish. Oh, man. I mean, exactly. Just a little hood, just a little rough around the edges, man. The mistress was a little rough. Moose is just hucking over for the kids. Yeah. Excuse man, I missed the fish and shoot. I understand. That's how I feel too, man. I watch different things in and around and from Philadelphia, and I'm like, man. Yo, y'all are cracking up, man. I'm dead serious. Yeah, I like, but the names just, they don't just fall out the sky. It's like I put serious thought into it. Hey, Jimmy says, he says no matter what, I also come back. Yeah. Jimmy says if you haven't hit the thumbs up, please do. Mubu says smoked squirrel isn't bad. I'll leave that to you. I'll leave it to you. Captain Newbie says they have to develop. Yes, the names have to develop. So definitely agree there. Like, it's just one of those things where you can't just you can't force the name, Kent. You have to, each of the smokers, each of my cookers has a personality, and the names sometimes fit the personalities. Like Vicky, like I said, man, I know a Vicky that's and Vicky was treating me like a in the beginning, so I was like, yeah. And like I said, Bernadette, she kept on burning stuff. Laura says, not even sure I want to try that. I think she's talking about the smoked squirrel. Oh, yeah. Nope. Captain Newbie says, no, the squirrel. Nope. I'll leave it. I'll leave it to you guys. Bree says it's like my big pit. Her name was Lizzie, short for Elizabeth, who was the bride of Dr. Frankenstein before he reanimated her. Nice. So, that's the thing. Like, there's I won't say there's always some sort of anecdotal story or a reason why, a pit, a car, a vehicle, like my van, like how the name came about. And I tell you what, man, the Jetta was just the Jetta for a long, long time. And then I was talking to a friend, and I was talking to her about my car, and she was like, you talk about that car so much. You're in that car so much. It's like it's your mistress. And I was like, you're right. It's like you with that car all the time. You always cleaning the car or washing the car or doing this with the car or doing that with the car. And it's just like, that car is your mistress. And I was like, wow, you're like, I can't even can't even say no, you're wrong. And it stuck. So the mistress was deemed the mistress. And sometimes that's just how, like a simple conversation. So same thing. My buddy Travis, who was here a couple weeks ago, he's the one who was talking about the difference between the mistress and the Passat. And he was like, this one is like so much more refined. He was like, it's like a debutante. And it was like, Debbie. All right. Kent says, so I have a little red kettle also. Is ginger appropriate? I believe so. I mean, but does it have a soul, Kent? Does it have a soul? I mean, you know, little red. So I have a friend. Her name. So see, like I equate different things to different things. So I have a friend whose name is Stacy. Stacy is from Austin, but Stacy moved up to, to Maryland, and Stacy was like everything she had to do was red. Everything was red. So like her car was red, her motorcycle was how I knew her. Her motorcycle was like red, white, and black, but the majority of it was red. Her license plate said little red, like LILRED, and then her motorcycle, and then her license plate for her car said little, I think it said LIL text, little text, text, TEX. And it was just one of those things. Like she was all about red. She had red hair. She red freckles. Red. So to me, I would be like, oh man, this red girl. I'm gonna call her Stacy. Because of my friend, Little Red. So like red could be ruby. But I don't know. I always don't get me to rambling, Ken. I could associate something to the other, like the 6 degrees of separation. Yeah, Mooboo's is not far off a combination of chicken and peanut butter. For squirrel? He says squirrel isn't as country as woodchuck. Nope. What about beaver? I saw someone cook beaver recently, and I was like, ooh. Laura says, think Marianne. Peanut butter and onion sliced thin is awesome in a Sammy. Okay. Two stringy prairie chicken isn't bad. All right. Captain Doobie says, oh, the levels of roadkill. I'm not, like, I'm not comfortable with that, which is so apropos for what we're talking about tonight, because we're talking about cooking outside of comfort zones. And man, squirrel is just one of those things where I am not comfortable. I'm not. Like, I am not. Not just, not even gonna lie. At all. All right, guys. So the typical as promised, the for you guys for hanging out here on the live stream, you guys get to see the video early. It needs birch smoke. Oh, okay, smoke with birch. Never tried that. Can't call it Gillian. Then you can be the skippery. Yell at it when it does something wrong. Scarlet. Okay, I like Scarlet. Beaver is close to moose. Really? Scarlet, because frankly, I don't give a damn. Nice. Need to hind end and do a wildlife show. No, thank you. A fresh hit deer could still have a few good quarters, man. B says squirrel is good eating. I'll take your word for it, man. I've lived in and around cities my entire life, and there's one thing I do not want to do is eat a squirrel. Like, no, thank you. No beaver sweet meat, according to Randy, a buddy of mine. All right. Yeah. No, so the tail on a beaver is very fatty. Moo says depends on the season. Eric Peterson, I dressed a squirrel once. I didn't cook it. Yuck, blue meat. Uh, it's probably because they're so heavily oxygenated, like their muscles are very oxygenated, or either maybe they're blue or because they're lessly oxygenated. I don't know. I don't know. Roadkill Cafe by SDSBBQ. Nope, 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 nope. Not at all. Not me. Don't wait all day. Dress it. It will still be pink. Yeah. Elephant is like beef, Eric says. Certain parts are good. Like, I was gonna say like what, but I don't know if I want to know. Like, I don't know if I would want to eat an elephant. Squirrels like rabbit. Mr. Smooth Out would have a lot to say here, but well, I bet he's smooth out, huh, Jamie? What needs city squirrel though? See, there you go. See, maybe you guys understand my aversion to squirrel is because I've only seen city squirrels. Rolling the roadkill, a moose, but the tree line made it tricky. Yeah. Moose is pigeon equal KFC. Oh man. IJ, how you doing this evening? Man, manatees are a protected animal, dude. They're an endangered species. Why would you? I mean, I wouldn't want to eat an endangered species. Just not my thing. Rabbit isn't bad. More like chicken. Okay. I want to say I've had rabbit, but I don't remember having rabbit. Neck meat between the ribs on the elephant is very good. It's very common in Zimbabwe to eat elephant. Well, I need to go to Zimbabwe. Try crow once. Sorry. Will be okay. Fried with onions. All right. I like, crow. You literally ate crow. Mubu says, don't do crow in Canada. Eric says, the fat in the entrails is very good from elephants. Elephants are not endangered in Zimbabwe. Yeah. Mubu says, or raven. Yeah. They're endangered because they're delicious. So I've heard. Oh, man. No. Eric says, rhino are endangered. I agree. What is it? AITX is garbage. I remember, I won't say looking at AITX, but I remember hearing about it. But that's one of those OTC stocks. Like, you can't trade it everywhere. But it seems to just be leveled out. Oh wait, let me go back to the 5-day or 1 month. It's dropped down significantly, but from 23 cents to 11 cents. I don't really mess with too many penny stocks. Like, I need it to be trading over $1. IJ says some weird Easter nights. I also have heard of people eating possums. Man. I don't know. Laura says, was thinking, yeah, we all ate crow at some time, Meeks. Yep. Meeks is slow day hunting, had to get something. Look, I'm not judging you. Unpredictable birds, thanks to the queen. Okay. You never harvest anything endangered. All right, Eric. Nice. Eric, where are you? That's a good question. Possums are stringy with a sand texture, in my opinion. Okay. B says possum is good too. No one has mentioned snake yet. Yeah, well, you know what? So Marcus is asleep, apparently, or he would mention snake. So Marcus has talked to me about snake. Between eating snake and harvesting snake to be eaten. But I'm like, I don't know about that. I hear snake is one of those deals that it's like a neck bone, like a turkey neck bone, and there's a lot of work for it. Meek says, I'd try snake when I try turtle. Oh, speaking of turtles, so my boys, my sister-in-law's wife, gave us some turtles. Probably, I feel like it's been 7, 8 years. Both the turtles just recently died, and oh gosh, I don't think I want to eat turtle. Eric says I live in Louisiana. I spent lots of time in Africa. Live in L.A. So in Los Angeles or in Louisiana? Rattlesnake and garden snakes are good, slow cooked. Moo boo. I'll take your word for it. Python is really good. We used to catch them on my farm in Thailand. Okay, I ate snake once. Yuck. Didn't taste like chicken. Seagulls, raven, and crow are all protected. Yeah. You can take the meat off and leave the bones. Whoa. Can't eat aquatic. Huh. 14-inch snapper turtle frozen in the ice this winter. Whoa. Meeks had a turtle in his house. A snapping turtle in his house. Was that you, Meeks? Oh, or am I thinking of someone else that sent me a video of a snapping turtle? Laura says, won't eat turtle or rabbit. Had as pets. Yeah. My mom and dad ate lots of sea turtle in the 60s in Mexico. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Eric, I can imagine. He said, yeah, it was him. I'm like, somebody sent me a video of a snapping turtle or some sort of turtle in their garage recently. And I'm like, wait a minute, who was that? Hey, yeah, man. I'm glad it wasn't me. That's all I got to say. Man, I would be pissed. Oh, but it's crazy. Speaking of wild animals, my wife, she was in the basement. She's got a little workout area down in the basement, so she was on the treadmill. And I was sitting here because I'm like, I got the live stream. I'm just kind of gonna hang out and sit here. I was on YouTube earlier, and she comes upstairs and she says, I need your help. And I'm like, okay, what's up? She said, it seems like a bird got into the flue from the furnace and is now in pieces at the bottom of the furnace on the floor and kind of hanging on the furnace. And I'm like, what? So this bird must have gotten the flue from the chimney, from the heater, and I don't know what happened. It got stuck in there and it came tumbling down the flue, and I had to clean up a set of wings and some feathers, but the majority of the bird wasn't there. There was just some feathers right there. Yeah. Eric says, I'm from Los Angeles, California. Now NorCal. Now NorCal as a kid. All right. So Eric, how I do? I say I am and will always be from Philadelphia, but I live in Baltimore. There is a clear distinction for a reason. I live in Baltimore. I'm not from Baltimore, but I live in Baltimore. I am from Philadelphia. I spent, a lot of my days. Wait, there's a joke in there somewhere. What if you threw a chopped up crow to a seagull? Two wrongs to make a right. Isaac said, night, everyone. Until next week. Yes, sir. Thank you so very much for hanging out. Mubu says you might be sued from KFC. Secret ingredients. Remember, yeah, you might be right. Hey, look, it is after 11. Oh. And those of you guys who are hanging out and who are still around this late at night, I'd like to send you the video that's going to be airing tomorrow, Thursday, at 7 a.m. Eastern. So you guys get to see it early. All right, Laura, thank you. Meeks is Fresh Prince. Yeah. Exactly. What about farmer talk? All right, we can talk about pharma. I won't say I don't really do much pharma. Big pharma, little pharma. I mean, I guess I should take that back. I have some Moderna. I have Johnson and Johnson. I have Pfizer. Um, what else? What other pharma? Like I've been looking at Novavax, but I just can't afford it. Novavax, Nvax, NVAX. Oh, that's not it. OV, NVAX. Sorry. I've been looking at it, but it was too expensive. I couldn't buy it. So my main brokerage account, in order to buy shares, you have to buy whole shares, and I'm like, I can't afford it. So I actually started a little brokerage with Fidelity, so I could kind of like understand how it worked. And I'm kind of still testing the waters. I threw $50 at it. I was like, I'm gonna throw $50 here, and we're gonna play with these partial share things and see what happens. So that's where I'm at with the Fidelity thing. So yeah. I want to move my brokerage account, but I don't know where to move it to just yet. So I left it where it is. So my main brokerage account is through Chase, and the gambling brokerage is through Robinhood, and then the test brokerage is through Fidelity. My whole plan was to, once Robinhood got over a certain amount for my AMC shares, the gambling AMC shares, I was going to move it to Fidelity and take whatever proceeds and do with it as I wished. But that's not working out right now. KB is the second. I know what you're talking about. Adam, how you doing this evening? Captain Newbie says that's pricey for me for sure. Laura, good night to you too. Bye for now. Definitely. E-Trade, okay. Can you do partial shares in E-Trade? Nah, Laura, I'm not leaving yet. Look, I still have another beer to finish. Well, another beer and a quarter to finish. Darn. Another beer. I'm not going anywhere. Yep, I can still count. I have one left. Was anybody keeping count of how many beers I drank tonight? It's been a while since I've just straight drank beer. Like, quite a while. Adam, how's it going, man? I have been missing I've missed the last couple of videos. Like, I'll see the notification, and not the notification, but I'll see it on my subscription list. And if I can't watch it right then, it's like I will forget about it. isn't a lot of brokerage, yeah. Oh. Jandro, okay. You know, the problem is you would take care of one of those way faster than I would with the meats that I smoke. Done. Nice. That's what's up, Adam. That's what's up. Glad to hear it's done. Truck shopping? What kind of truck you looking for? Captain Newbie. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Pass the Dutchie. No, so I haven't seen like when he posts sometimes at like 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the morning for my time. I see him in the morning. I get tied up at work, and then I don't always go back far enough in order to see him. So, excuse me. Sorry, Laura. You talked about it. Da, 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 da. Captain Newbie says, I hate when they just sit there talking with it. And Laura says, nah, I'd rather have a cigar. Yep, I agree, Laura. Definitely agree. Uh, yeah, definitely the Mary Jane is not my thing. Mubu says a Datsun. Uh, I would love a Datsun. As a kid, my mother had a friend who had a Datsun. It was like a it might have been like a 280Z. I don't know why I'm thinking like a 260. I think it was a 270 or 280Z, and it was badges said Datsun by Nissan, and I just remember it was a 5-speed, and we drove from I don't even remember where we were driving from, but he lived in Chester, and I rode with him in the car, and we had the windows down, and that was like my first. That was probably my first Japanese car experience. Now that I think about it, because my mother always drove American cars when I was a kid. Still, she has had nothing. The only make of vehicle she's had has been Buick, and then my grandparents, my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, had nothing but Fords. My dad's mom, she had GM cars, Pontiacs, Buicks. I'm trying to think what else. Pontiac, Buick. She had a couple different Buicks and a Pontiac. So yeah, that might have been that Datsun might have been my first Japanese car experience. Uncle Steve, how you doing this evening, sir? Uncle Steve, man, I took your advice and I had some of that dessert shake on some vanilla ice cream. Man, the sweet and the savory on that is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. I just Oof. Goodness. My wife has rearranged the spice cabinet, and your seasonings are like prominently, not displayed, but prominently in the front of the spice cabinet. Captain Newbie said, excuse me. The old Datsuns were cool, man. They still are. Boo Boo says that's a Mazda. Nah, man. Datsuns were made by Nissan. Nice. Uncle Steve says he's living a dream. Chevy had weak front ends. Dodge has electronic and transmission problems. What say ye about Fords? My wife made some chicken wings tonight, and I think she used the original. Like, I moved it, and I'm not sure which one it was that she used, because I was cleaning up. Adam said if you get a standard Dodge, you're good. Man, he's got to get a diesel. Boo Boo said, he said a 280. The 280 was a Mazda. Jimmy says, why? Why? Oh, you just don't do it, Jimmy. Pushes down the hill and off you go, Adam. Boo Boo says Fords just suck, especially the 4.8 liter. Oh, what, the 4.8 against the gasser? I don't like. I'm a diesel evangelist. I'm not doing anything gasoline if I can't help it. Like, my wife's vehicles will probably be gasoline or electric. She's been talking about wanting a Tesla, and I'm like, okay. But for me, diesel. I'm sorry. Whew. Captain Newbie says he has an 02 F350 Lariat with a 7.3. Nice. So B, I like the Cummins diesels a lot as well. So I have a friend who has a second gen. I think it's a second gen. If it's not a second gen, it's a third gen 2500. He loves this truck. And he was like, oh, when I was looking, excuse me, he said he looked at the Dodges, he looked at the Fords, and he's like, he looked at the Chevys, and he said between the diesels, because he has a decent sized boat, he needed to tow it from time to time. He said, looking at the Cummins, because it's a V6, or straight 6 actually, so it's a straight 6 versus the V8, he said 2 less cylinders means 20 or 25%, whatever the number is, less stuff to break and maintain or worry about. And I was like, it's a very valid point. So, also, the straight 6 versus the V8, the torque and the horsepower numbers from factory, I believe, are as good, if not better, than the V8. I'm trying to think what else is there off the top of my head. I love the sound of a Cummins. Like, they sound great. But you have to do some decent modifications to it in order for it to sound that way. So, good luck, B. Laura says, never mind, I read it wrong. Take it to a mechanic, Adam says. 98 E350 diesel. 7.3 to replace it. Nice. So, oh man, I love my van and I hate my van at the same time. Like, I love my van. The ride is pretty cushy, but she runs good, right? But when she's not running good and I have to fix something, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to take out I feel like I have to take off the whole, front, like, firewall cowl type thing in order to get to anything in there. But once you move this and move that, there's a lot of room surprisingly in there to work. Boo Boo says, yep, I agree, diesel is best, but still the same thing for problems with the Chevy and Dodge, Ford timing problems. Okay. Captain Newbie said the passenger side rockers, inner and cab corner is needed, but I love it. Old school engines will always beat new gen motors. Well, there's emission stuff, and if that is one of the, I won't say the deciding factors, but if that is one of the barriers to entry, if you will, then it might be for somebody who's strictly done gassing and trying to get in the diesel. Exactly. B says, probably buying from a dealership. Gotta get that warranty. Yes, indeed. Carlos says, torque band when the Cummins has a broader range than a V8. Yep, I knew there was something that was. So speaking of Cummins, I watched Greg A on YouTube. Anyone else watch Greg A? Again, diesel content. Adam says, good night, Dash. Good to see you, brother. Excuse me. Yes, indeed. Good to be seen. And also good to see you, too. I am going to catch up. I know, like I said, I know I'm behind at least one, maybe two of your videos at this point. So, I'll catch up. Jimmy says, take care, Adam, and have a good rest of the week. Yes, indeed. I am getting ready to tap out. Greg A does, he does great stuff with his. I feel like he still has probably half a dozen Cummins trucks on his property right now. But it's at least half a dozen. Like, seriously. Captain Newbie says, good night, guys. Mubu says, not caring about emissions, I guess. Old gen diesels never had a cat. Same with gas motors pre-76. Yes. Yes, indeed. That was before we cared about the environment. Definitely. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We are at 2.5 hours. So I'm going to wrap this up. Anybody else have any quick questions for me before I go ahead and sign off? Laura says, good night. Bye for now, Dash, and all. Enjoy the night, eh? Definitely, Laura. Enjoy the night, eh? Yeah. I am going to enjoy the night like this. I get to sleep in tomorrow until like 5:30, 5:45. So, yeah. Datsun Deluxe 1200 was a good car. I have to look into it. I can't say that I know exactly what it is. Alright, guys. I'm going to go ahead. It's been 2.5 hours. Aren't y'all tired of like looking at my meat, my ugly mug? Claire says no drooling. Jimmy says, night, guys. See everyone this weekend. Yes, indeed. If you do not know, Jimmy puts out videos on Sundays. Sunday. Yeah, so Jimmy, I always watch Jimmy's videos later because I'm not on YouTube. Like, I'm not on YouTube very much during the weekend. Weekends are for family time, but when I get to my desk on Monday morning, I'm like, what did I miss over the weekend? So there's that. 7 a.m. Eastern time. But you don't have to wait until tomorrow. As a thank you for being here on the live stream, I post a link to the video early so you can watch the video that's going to go up tomorrow, today, or tonight. Some point, I'll just sneak. Yeah. Laura says, never get notifications. Grr. Only see someone I open YouTube. Jimmy says, I'm there for the Christians after church. Nice. You're only an hour ahead of me anyway. Moo-boo, yeah, but I've been up. Oof, goodness. I got up this morning. Well, I didn't get up, but I woke up this morning. It was like 4:15, and I was like, I'm not getting up right now. I'm like, I refuse. So it's been a long day for me is the point I'm trying to make. All right, guys. So I am going to go ahead and log off. Oh, my gosh. Laura said it's only 9:30. You know what I could do with those 2 hours right now? I ain't nothing. Excuse me. Laura just asked Mubu a question. I was waiting for him to reply before I hit X. All right. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but if this conversation needs to go on any longer from Mubu and Cypress Blue, Laura, you guys are going to have to take it offline. Big Reg, good night to you too, sir. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys doing that. Hey, Kent, good luck with naming your cooker. Definitely. It's a stressful thing because you know that name is gonna last for quite a while. This is all good. Thank you very much. Red. Laura says, yeah, maybe I need sleep. She read that wrong. Quite possibly. Laura says, bye for now. Yes, indeed. All right, listen. I am gone. All right. I will talk to you guys next Wednesday. Don't forget to check out the video tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you. I'll see you next time.